difference between an artist critique and I say the common folk is sometimes I think the artist is a little too hard because like judging somebody else and thinking they should have did it like this.
You should have did it like me.
Yeah.
Or the way I wanted you to do it.
Exactly.
All right, so it was something that I got off of the Joe Budden pot. It was Benny and Elliott Wilson were there, and they were talking about like people critiquing music. And I guess the question was like, do you have to actually be an artist to be able to critique, to give an honest critique on music?
No, I wouldn't think so.
No.
Yeah, like
y'all said no fast.
As consumers, I don't think, because that's part of it. What it is consumers.
Is it fair to say
be
that
artists to understand what we do not want to buy and use up in our spare time with?
ultimately, that's who's purchasing the music.
Yeah,
it is the consumers purchase the music. I get that part, but is it fair to say that the critique may be? Of course, it's going to be different coming from another creative, right? That doesn't necessarily make it more valuable, but I guess that's also subjective as to how you want to receive it, because I definitely understand or want to know what fans feel like when they hear music. That's very important.
You'll get that instantly though.
Mm-hmm.
But another creative telling me, like going through my project, it's going to hit different. For me as a creative, it's going to hit different. You see what I'm saying?
You got to take that with a grain of salt too though.
You do.
Because some of that could just be hate.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like if they're, that's a slippery slope. You know what I mean?
Right.
Creative criticism and hate.
Because everything is not hate.
It's not.
In this era, it seems to come off as hate. We hear a lot. Anytime somebody gives their opinion on something, 9 times out of 10, the comments are going to say, oh, you just hating. Just go through the comments and look on IG, look on whatever. Whenever somebody gives their opinion, more than likely there's going to be somebody down there that says, oh, he just hating or she hating. In this era, the era that we in now.
Now, there can be an element of hate. Like, say, back in 05, 06, Ja Rule just came out with a song that was incredible. I don't expect 50 Cent to say anything particularly nice about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand when some of this criticism is peppered with. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. 90% of the songs I have to listen to on Friday and Saturday night, I don't like, but I understand why they work. So you have to, I was just, that's my advice to artists out there. You have to approach this a different way and have a different expectation as far as how people are going to digest your art.
Let's take it to the chat real quick, because Lone, it looks like Lone is coming along my side. He says, well, I'm on his side actually. Artist critiques always are more valuable than a consumer. Sorry, not sorry. That's what I was alluding to when I said it's just going to hit different.
Well, yeah, if you're a rapper, but just imagine if you just somebody up there catching a stray because, an artist who has legendary status is feeling some kind of way.
Right.
As opposed to just some dude on the street or 4 dudes that got a podcast.
Well, I think that the thing is you have to be, if you don't like it, you got to tell me what you don't like about it. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that really turned you off from the situation? Or is it you just don't like it just because? I think artists, most times, they can give you a reason why they are not a fan of said record, or maybe this bar could have been different, or the vocals need to be turned up here. Mm-hmm. I think you're more likely to get that type of feedback from an artist or someone like a journalist or somebody that's actually been in the field and listened to it long enough. Consumers, more or less, they're going to tell you, yeah, I like that song. No, I don't like that song. They're not going to be able to really tell you why most times.
You know what, though? There are consumers, though. There's always, what's the cliche term? Exception to the rule, right?
Yeah.
I do know some people that are just consumers that can sit down and talk that talk with me as it relates to even technicalities of the music. Mm-hmm. Like, there are some out there that care enough to actually have that conversation, but most of the time it's what you talked about.
Mm-hmm. Above average.
Yeah, right. But there are some that can then sit in the paint and be like, yeah, so I love it, man. I don't know about the mix. Mm-hmm. And it won't even be an artist or nothing. It's just they listen to music enough to know something don't sound right. Mm-hmm. And me, I got to look at you in the face and be like, well, I have to go
that's
back
one of the things I learned from
work on the mix.
Is like, now I listen to the more technical aspects of things, mm-hmm. as far as like the mix, or like I'll even, we had the conversation about people not rapping in the pocket.
Yeah.
Now I can definitely already hear people who are rapping off beat, and that drives me crazy.
But now it's just like when people are, and maybe they were like, oh, that's my style. I'll be like, yeah, but your style is like off beat and out of pocket. It reminds me of like
the time when somebody asked DMX, God bless the dead, about Drake. And DMX was like, I don't like his face. I don't like nothing about him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that was a DMX answer too, though.
Facts.
yeah. So like, that's different. You know, sometimes it just comes from a place of like, I don't like the way this, I don't like where this person is coming from. I don't like it.
Bro, I got a long.
Yeah, so it just is what it is.
I got a long story real quick.
You got a long story real quick?
Loan. I see what you tried to do. See. So I was working on a record with shout out to my homie 𝐾𝐄𝐃. We dropped a project called Crown probably 3 years ago, which is crazy to me. And I always play records for Loan. Loan is one of the few people in the world that I will play rough drafts for when it's time to analyze it. Mm-hmm. He does the same thing every time. He's going to tell me if he likes it, yes or no. But I know his ears are doing exactly what you said. I changed the hi-hats. He told me they were too high. He told me they were too high on 3 separate occasions before we put the album out for mixing and mastering. And when it came back and the project came out, he says they're still a little high, but they're closer to where I wanted you to get them. Mm-hmm. This is the 4th time. Right. So yes, he definitely listens, and he's just one of those people. And you know, when you've done it for so long, it's just you can't turn that off. You know, and that's me just going to him. And I swear it was 3 or 4 times where he's like, "It's almost there, still too high."
I mean, I get that. Like DJing when you out, it's hard to turn that DJ. Ear off.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because like, oh no, that came in. He ain't count that in right. Something
I do the same thing.
Yeah, you're gonna hear that all the time.
Is it harder for y'all? Because y'all being DJs, Jay Moore, you in the club as well. Is it harder for y'all? Because it's hard for me to turn the producer ear off. For y'all, is it harder? Is it hard for y'all to turn it off as well?
Absolutely. Like I can't. Even if my set sounds decent to the common individual, to me is bugging me. Like I might have did something that I didn't like. I might have just did one thing that I didn't like, and now I don't like my whole set.
Yeah,
for the whole night.
For the whole, I'm just like that one thing threw me off, and like I can still be in the pocket to somebody
think about
else.
What you was trying to do.
And I was like, man,
I'm gonna set up.
That didn't work right, and it'll be bothering me
that's
and
crazy.
eating at me the whole time. So yeah, I mean the difference between an artist critique and I say the common folk is sometimes I think the artist is a little too hard because like judging somebody else and thinking they should have did it like this.
You should have did it like me.
Yeah.
Or the way I wanted you to do it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to somebody that doesn't listen to music, that isn't a DJ or an artist, but can still critique in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And you got to respect that because we're our own worst critic at the end of the day. So I'm gonna be harder on me. I'm gonna be harder on my guys. Yeah. And I'm gonna be on somebody I might not even know. You know what I'm saying?
My expectations level is higher.
Right, because I feel like we better than everybody in a sense.
No, you're right.
So,
you're right.
So it's like we're harder on each other than we would be on somebody else. And I kind of feel like a critique is kind of the same way as far as somebody on the outside looking in. Just like a lot of the sportscasters they might have played sports at one point in time, but a lot of them didn't make it to that the professional level.
Some played college, some played high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But these are the commentators that people look to give their opinions. Now there's some whose personality you might not like, right? But you can't take anything away from them. Their sports ID, so to speak.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Or IQ, so to speak. So, I mean, I don't know. I can kind of see it both ways as far as believing in artists over an individual and an individual over an artist. And